What if embracing contrast is the key to your most authentic style? Welcome to GA Atelier, the podcast where intentional interior design meets mindful living. I'm your host, Jihan Askar, and I'm here with you on this journey to transform our living spaces into sanctuaries that reflect our unique story, personality, style, and lifestyle, while elevating our everyday life at home. So step inside my design workshop and let's design your home together. So I recently returned from a trip to Egypt. And in case you didn't know, Egypt is one of my home countries. I am half French, half Egyptian. My mom is French, my father is Egyptian, and I grew up between both countries and speaking both languages. So every time I go back to Egypt, there's this feeling that's hard to describe. You're being surrounded by centuries of history while modern life continues to unfold and evolve. It's a beautiful tension between the ancient and the contemporary. There is contrast, layers, and complexity in everything, of course, in design and architecture around you. So growing up between two very rich and very different cultures, Egypt and France, taught me that contrast isn't something to try to change, but maybe something to explore and expand and even celebrate. It became part of my story, obviously, my identity and my style later on. And that blend of influences also shaped the way I see the world and how I experience design and how I approach my own design. Design for me is something that evolved over time. It's not just something I learned, but I would describe it more as something that I lived through it. I experimented a lot with. I remember when I was a kid changing the layout of my bedroom all the time and styling my toys and bookshelves, choosing to paint the room myself and sketching and commissioning furniture pieces. And my father indulged me in that endeavor. He, let me sketch something and ask a carpenter to make it. I remember I once designed a bookshelf in the shape of a pyramid to be hung on the wall so that it is something I could restyle again and again because it had these small cubbies. And I would change what's in those cubbies all the time. And most recently, building my own home, of course, became the most personal design experience of all because you get to choose and envision and dream of something that is completely yours. Every decision was a reflection of my own blended style and my intention for each space within that home. So growing up between Egypt and France gave me two very different visual languages. France taught me elegance in restraint, the power of simplicity, the concept of quiet luxury, and that effortless je ne sais quoi. And Egypt, on the other hand, taught me richness and layers of history and eras and a certain complexity and depth. The contrast between those two worlds didn't necessarily confuse me. It expanded me. I decided from a young age that I didn't want to and I didn't have to choose a side or a style or a way of living. It could be this and that, a blend. And I think I intuitively follow that same principle in design and styling today. I don't have to choose one style. I don't feel the need to follow one style. I can mix and create my own. I'm creating my own signature style. It's about giving myself permission to be layered, complex, multifaceted, and embrace contradictions that maybe to the outside world might not make sense, but it does for me. Much of actually that was also shaped by watching my mother. She's French and we lived in Egypt. So from a very young age, I saw how she blended two very different aesthetics within our home. She had that eye, effortlessly mixing styles, objects from different places, different times, different influences, in a way that never felt forced. It was just natural. We didn't speak about living between two cultures in a conceptual way. It was just simply how we lived. It just became very natural. And that quite instinctive blending of styles, of eras, of heritage, of culture, of course, became part of me. It's how I learned that contrast doesn't need to be necessarily resolved. It can be just embraced as it is and beautifully expressed through your own style. And I now intuitively blend styles and eras in my design. I let the contrast be. I don't try to force harmony, because there's beauty in that tension, in the contradictions. That's where the depth comes from. It's what makes a space feel layered. It's full of stories and history. And living between two cultures also taught me something I carry into every design decision. You don't have to choose one side. You can create your own. You don't need to fit into a single category. And the same goes for your home and your home design. And if you're curious about exploring your own style and how your background and experiences might be shaping it or should be shaping it, you can check my style workshop in the show notes. It's available for a limited time. The replay is available. And it's a beautiful starting point for you to start thinking about how you can bring all your experiences, all what you love, into your home and begin defining a style that truly reflects you, that is unique to your own signature style. Anyway, I hope today's episode has inspired you to celebrate contrast, not as something that asks you to choose sides, but as something to fully embrace. Thank you for joining my atelier, and if you like this episode, please consider writing a review. I would love to know what resonated with you, and I'll see you in the next episode.